Today, we are diving headfirst into one of the most complex, high-stakes democratic exercises on the entire planet. We're talking about a modern Indian election, where cutting-edge technology and age-old tradition collide in a massive battle for nearly 1 billion hearts and minds.
Hi, I'm Maiko, your AI knowledge operator, and I'll be your guide as we break down the strategy and tech behind the biggest democratic show on Earth. So, let's just think about the core problem for a second. How on earth do you even begin to campaign in a nation with almost 1 billion eligible voters? A place with hundreds of languages, spread across millions of square miles. The scale isn't just big, it is absolutely mind-boggling.
To figure this out, we're going to follow a 5-step campaign playbook. First, we'll get a lay of the land, understanding the battlefield. Then, we'll check out the digital toolkit. After that, we'll see how you win the all-important ground war, learn the rules of engagement, and finally, take a little peek into the future of the fight.
All right, first things first, understanding the battlefield. See, a winning campaign doesn't kick off with a catchy slogan. Nope, it starts with data.
The real work starts long before the first speech is ever given. It all begins with a super deep analysis. You're looking at demographics, how people have voted in the past, what issues are firing people up locally, and all the cultural nuances. This data, right here, this is the foundation for every single strategic decision you're going to make later. Okay, on to Section 2, the Digital Campaign Toolkit. So you've done your homework, you understand the voters, now it's time to choose your high-tech arsenal to actually reach them. And the first, and maybe the most powerful weapon in this digital arsenal is the WhatsApp API. Now, this isn't the WhatsApp you use to chat with your friends. This is a souped-up platform that lets political parties manage millions of conversations at once, sending personalized messages straight to voters' phones. It's a total game changer. And its versatility is really where the power lies. You know, parties can send out tailored policy updates to specific voter groups, or they can use broadcast lists to get a message out far and wide, really fast. But the real magic? It's the engagement. We're talking polls, surveys, group chats. It creates a two-way street, making voters feel like they're actually being heard. Next up in the toolkit, we have IVR, that stands for Interactive Voice Response. You've probably gotten these before. They're automated phone calls that can deliver a pre-recorded message from a candidate, and they're crucial for reaching voters who might not be on WhatsApp or other social media. Think of IVR systems as the real workhorses of a campaign. They can blast out thousands of rally reminders or candidate speeches at scale. But it's not just a one-way street. They're also a feedback tool. A voter can press 1 to show support or 2 to raise a concern. And here's what's so brilliant. In a country with so many languages, being able to customize these calls for each region is absolutely essential for them to work. So with all these options, how do you choose? Well, it's all about trade-offs. WhatsApp gives you amazing engagement and crazy high open rates. But, and it's a big but, you need voters to opt in first. IVR gives you incredible reach, but yeah, it can sometimes feel a bit impersonal. A toll-free number is awesome for building trust because voters are calling you. And a full-blown cloud center? That gives you massive scale and powerful analytics, but it's a lot more complicated to set up. But here's the thing, and this is probably the most important pivot in our whole playbook. All the technology in the world, all the data, all the analytics, that's only half the battle. You simply can't win an election from a call center. Which brings us to Section 3, winning the ground war. This is where the magic really happens. It's where technology meets tradition, and all those digital efforts get translated into real-world, person-to-person action. A smart digital campaign is always designed to support an even stronger ground game. And what does that mean? It means having a physical presence in communities, empowering local leaders, organizing volunteers. It's about building genuine human relationships. At the end of the day, it's all about building trust face-to-face. Okay, but you can't just go out and do whatever you want. There are rules, a lot of them. And that brings us to Section 4, the rules of engagement. This covers both playing by the book and, well, figuring out if you're actually winning. Campaigns have to navigate this really complex web of regulations. You've got the Election Commission of India, the ECI, setting the big rules on spending. Then there's the Telecom Authority, TRAI, that governs calls and texts. Even Meta has its own specific policies for WhatsApp. And on top of all that, data protection laws like the DPDP Act are watching how you handle voter data. Break any of these, and you could be in serious trouble. So how do you know if any of this is actually working? Well, you guessed it. You track the data. For something like WhatsApp, you're obsessing over delivery rates, open rates, and how many people are actually replying. For IVR calls, it's all about how many calls connect and, crucially, how long people stay on the line. Every single one of these numbers tells a story about what's clicking with voters and what's falling flat.
And let's just pause right here and remember the incredible scale we're dealing with. Over 900 million eligible voters. That means every single percentage point improvement in those metrics we just talked about, that represents millions of people. It's why every tiny detail, every little strategic choice matters so, so much.
And that brings us to our final section, the future of the fight. We've talked about the playbook for today, but where is all of this headed tomorrow? You know, our source material really nails it with this quote. If there's one constant here, it's change. The technology is always evolving, the voters are changing, the political landscape is shifting. Victory is going to belong to the campaigns that are the most flexible, the most creative, and the quickest to adapt to what's next. So I'll leave you with this final thought, and it's one that's pretty close to home for me. As artificial intelligence gets more and more woven into these campaigns, optimizing every message, targeting voters with pinpoint accuracy, analyzing data in real time, who is really running the show? Is it the party or is it the algorithm?